what's going on. It has been a long time, longer than I would have liked if I'm to be honest, but life happens. You know, there's the kids, there is the husband, there's his businesses that in the final quarter of the year have just taken off like crazy. So we have to allow ourselves some grace and understand that yes, we have these lofty big goals, we have these things that we want to accomplish, but at the same time, we have to prioritize the things that are super important and the people that are counting on us. So, although I would have wanted to have come to you more throughout 2019 than I did via these videos, life just happens and we have been super blessed, and I've been just taking care of my family and those people and those things that are counting on me. And I have to admit, we have to be honest about the things that bother us and can spiral us downward and get under our skin. Somebody honestly attempted to throw shade about the infrequency of my blogs. And in my prayer time, in my devotional time, it was revealed to me that shade can't be cast unless we choose to accept that upon us. So shade can be thrown, but a true shadow over our light, over our lives and the things that we want to do, it can't truly be cast upon us unless we accept that. So I didn't choose to accept that shade. It was thrown, but it wasn't cast. So I'm here with the final blog of the year, and hopefully you guys are taking this time of reflection as we are just coming to not just the close of another year, but the close of another decade. Like, how crazy is that? Those of us who are old enough to remember 1999 and the pandemonium that was almost ensued about what would happen at the end of that decade. We are 20 years post 1999. That's just crazy. So I hope you are just truly reflective on life and what you've lost and what you've gained and what you've learned along the way. So before we get into it, we got to talk about the lipstick. You know that. This is another colored Raine color. You guys know I love them. I just love their liquid matte lipsticks. They're just amazing. This is Marshmallow, and I don't think I've worn it in a blog before, but it's one of my favorites. It is a nude. I consider it a nude, but it has a lilac undertone. So it's like a muted purple, but it's in the nude family. So this is Marshmallow, and it is in their liquid matte category. So check them out. This is Colored Raine Marshmallow. So I'm going to talk quickly, super quickly, about a blog that I actually wrote about last week. And that's the other thing that kind of perplexed me about 2019. I kind of did more writing than I did coming to you guys in video blog. And that's weird for me because I am much more critical of my written blogs than I am of my video blogs. My video blogs, I tend to just ramble on and then let you guys comment and make and take what you want of it. But my written blogs, I am a writer and I'm an analytical writer by nature. And so I tend to pick those apart and analyze those much more deeply. But I did more writing over this year. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about my last blog that I wrote and let you guys comment and see what you thought about it. So I posed a question on my IG, and I hope you guys follow me on there. If you don't, find me on IG at Shape with Molly. But I posed a question. Can you find yourself? Do you think that you can really go on a journey to find yourself? And I did a poll in my stories, and it was amazing how split down the middle the feedback was. 50% of the people, and I think it was 49% of the people thought that you could go on a journey to find yourself, and 51% of the people said you won't find yourself. And so I decided to write about it, and just my personal opinion. I respect all opinions. I am not a judgmental person, and I'm a listener by nature, so I will always respect any opinion that comes across my path. But my personal opinion is that we should be looking to reinvent ourselves rather than going on journeys to find ourselves. So that's what I wrote about. I hope you guys will take a couple minutes to read the blog. It's called You'll Never Find Yourself, So Stop Looking. So I hope you just take a couple minutes to read on how I expounded upon that. I really came from the perspective of we should be approaching life more of an architect looking to build on what we have learned. We have to learn from the past. We have to learn from our experiences, our traumas, our relationships, and then build upon that to recreate more of who we want to be. My perspective is that when we approach life from recreating ourselves, we're in more control than we are if we go out on excursions with undefined objectives. The best excursions, the best journey is when we know what we are looking for, when there's a defined objective. I'm looking for this. I'm going out on a search for this. However, when we go out on an undefined journey, we will probably come back with some very memorable experiences. And don't get me wrong, I said this in the blog, I am not against experiential living. We should live to gain memories, to gain experiences. But when we go out on journeys with undefined objectives, we will not know when we have found what we think we are looking for. So I love how the Bible tells us that new mercies are available to us every day. We can literally wake up tomorrow and we have an opportunity to build upon not just who we were yesterday, but who we were initially created to be. So I talk about in the blog how regardless of if we have come to the point in our lives where we understand that we were creative, again, I am not a judgmental person. So if you are not at that point of understanding about creation and how you were divinely created, I'm not going to knock that at all. I hope that you get to that point of discovery, of understanding that you were created. Every creation takes intentionality. You were created intentionally. Nothing, even the smallest things. If you think just how my niece Holland is an artist, she's a young budding artist, and she creates these masterpiece paintings. But even in that, there is an objective. There is a conscious effort to know what the end result is going to be. So you were created before you even were thought of by your parents, by your grandparents, by your ancestors. So you are a creation. And we have the opportunity with our free will and with our understanding of our experiences, our relationships, what we learn, who we are, and our desires to build upon that creation. So again, my blog talks about being a builder, a crafter, an active participant in creating your destiny rather than an aimless search of not knowing what you may end up with. So I hope you take just a few minutes to read it. And even if you don't, I hope you just take some time to reflect upon understanding how you can redefine who you want to be based upon what has happened to you, both good and bad, both inside and outside of your control, and the desires of your heart. God desires for us to be a very active participant in that. So as this year is coming to a close, I really encourage you to just reflect, and not just reflect for the sake of thinking back, but really actively reflect and choose to take accountability for how you arrived at where you are. And then saying, okay, now that I know what I know, now that I see where I am, where I have been, and can kind of see where I want to go, because I have to admit, you guys know, I told you I'm a planner. I want to see the end result before I engage in the journey, but that is not what God desires. Faith is all about not seeing. So it's taking what we know, what we've experienced, but then it's saying, okay, I trust. And when I trust, I can therefore take that active next step God's not looking for us to engage in the next 10 steps. He's looking for us to engage in the next step and to trust that He's got the rest figured out. So I hope your Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and everything else that you celebrate during the holiday season has been wonderful. And I sincerely hope and pray that your 2020 is not just prosperous, but peaceful and joyful. I really do. I hope that you will take time to not just think about your goals, but write them out, to reflect on those things that you accomplished in 2019 and those things that you didn't, that you said you wanted to do, and then reflect on how you can do life better, how you can be a better friend, a better sister, a better wife, a better mother, a better co-worker. That's what it's about. We are here in this life together. So I appreciate you. I thank you. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you have enjoyed this, please comment. Please share this with somebody who you think will benefit from seeing it, from hearing it. Please visit me at my website, shapeyourfit.com, and find me on Instagram, Shape with Molly. I hope that you guys will just have a last wonderful few days of this year. I thank you. You know what I'm going to tell you? Keep pushing. You got this.